All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we're diving into a world that's straight out of a fantasy novel, Bioluminescence.
That's right.
We're talking about those creatures who have the amazing ability to make their own light.
Yep.
We've got some seriously cool excerpts from a cell physiology textbook, and let me tell you, it's dense stuff, but packed with mind-blowing details about these glowing wonders.
Oh, for sure.
So we're on a mission here, folks, and that's to break down this complex science, make it not just understandable, but seriously captivating. We're talking about a world where light doesn't just come from the sun or, your phone screen,
Right.
but from the actual creatures themselves. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, it really is amazing, and actually rarer than you might think. The text highlights that while we see bioluminescence across a whole bunch of different life forms, like over 13 different phyla.
13.
Yeah, 13. Those
Yeah.
are like the major branches on the tree of life. But it's still just a tiny fraction of all the living things out there.
Wow, so it's kind of like an exclusive club,
Yeah, you could say that.
which I guess makes it even cooler. And here's something I found surprising. The text mentions how it's mainly a marine thing, like almost non-existent in freshwater, which I thought was really strange.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it really kind of drives home the point that evolution, it doesn't always go for what's most common, right?
Right.
It's all about what gives you an advantage in your specific environment and why bioluminescence is so common in the ocean but not freshwater. That's something scientists are still trying to figure out.
Now that's a mystery. All right, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's back up to the basics for a sec. I'm sure you've heard the one about fireflies storing sunlight, to make themselves glow.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
Sounds kind of plausible, but guess what? It's totally false.
That's a good one, though.
It is. But the truth is way cooler.
It is. It's all about chemistry, really.
So tell me more about that.
So all bioluminescence, it all comes down to these chemical reactions happening, a process called chemiluminescence, which basically means they're producing light through a chemical reaction inside their bodies. No need to store any sunlight.
So they're like, what, little alchemists? Transforming chemicals into light?
Yeah, kind of. Though it's actually more like photosynthesis, but in reverse.
Okay, now explain that to me like I'm 5.
Right, so plants use sunlight to create energy. But these bioluminescent creatures, they're using a chemical reaction to make light, almost like a backward version of photosynthesis.
Now that's fascinating. Like there's this whole hidden world of light and chemical reactions happening all around us, and we only get these tiny glimpses. So we've busted some myths about these creatures storing sunlight,
Right.
and we've gotten a little taste of the chemistry behind it all.
A little chemiluminescent.
But let's get into why. Why go through all the trouble of creating light? What are they actually using it for?
Well, the textbook lays it all out.
Okay, hit me with it.
It's not just one thing.
Yay.
Bioluminescence, it's evolved independently so many times throughout history.
Really?
Oh, yeah, serving a completely different purpose depending on who you are and, where you live in the world.
So it's like they all discovered this incredible ability,
Right.
but for completely different reasons.
Exactly. A really cool example of what we call convergent evolution. Different organisms, different solutions, but to the same problem.
And in this case, the problem is...
Survival. Thriving. Making it in this wild world,
And to do that, they're using light. Okay, makes sense. So the textbook mentions 3 main functions of bioluminescence: defense, offense, and communication. 3 very different reasons to get your glow on.
That's evolution for you, always full of surprises.
It really is. Okay, let's start with defense. The text mentions dinoflagellates.
Oh, yeah. The tiny creatures that light up the way.
Exactly. What's their strategy?
So picture this, a predator swimming in the dark looking for a snack.
Okay.
Along come the dinoflagellates, and suddenly, bam!
Yeah.
A flash of light, like a burglar alarm going off.
I love that analogy. So it startles them.
Exactly. Gives the dinoflagellates a chance to make a quick getaway.
That's genius. Pure genius.
And then you've got creatures in the deep sea.
Oh, yeah, it's like a whole other world down there, right?
Totally. They use bioluminescence for camouflage, matching the faint light coming from the surface.
Oh, so they blend in.
Like you wouldn't even believe it. Practically invisible to anything looking up.
It's like wearing an invisibility cloak, but made of light. Okay, that's defense. What about offense?
Oh, we've got some crafty hunters out there. You've got your anglerfish, of course, with its little glowing lure, like a beacon in the darkness.
A beacon that spells doom for any unsuspecting prey.
Right. Or the flashlight fish, for example. They've got these special light organs right under their eyes.
No
Yeah, and they can blink them on and off.
What?
Like headlights, basically, illuminating their surroundings to hunt down some dinner.
That's incredible. It really is like something out of science fiction.
I know, right? Nature is amazing like that.
It really is. Okay, so we've got defense, we've got offense. What about communication? I immediately think of fireflies.
Oh, the classic. They're using those flashes to signal to each other.
Right. But it's so specific. It's not just random flashing.
No, not at all. Each species has its own unique pattern, like a secret code.
And then there are those fireflies in Southeast Asia.
Don't even get me started. Millions of them flashing in sync.
It's like a symphony of light. How is that even possible?
Well, we think it's got to do with mating. But the specifics, how they manage to coordinate on such a massive scale, still a bit of a mystery.
Unbelievable. Okay, so we've talked about why, we've seen the incredible ways these creatures use their glow, but how? How does it actually work? Can we break down the science behind the light show a bit?
Of course. Let's pick 3 of the coolest examples from the text. Bacteria, our friend the dinoflagellate, and of course we got to talk more about fireflies.
Oh, this is going to be good. Hit me with the science.
All right, bacteria are fascinating, super adaptable. And some of them can actually switch their light on and off depending on their environment.
Get out of here, really.
Yeah, they've got this whole system called quorum sensing.
Quorum sensing, never heard of it.
So basically, they release these chemicals to figure out how many other bacteria are around.
They're counting each other.
In a way, yeah. And once there are enough of them in one spot, all their lights switch on together, like a big party.
So it's all about communication.
Exactly. They're coordinating, collaborating, all with just a little bit of light.
That is incredible. Okay, what about dinoflagellates? How do they create those flashes?
It all happens in these tiny little structures inside their cells called scintillons.
Scintillons. That just sounds cool.
Right.
So how do they work?
Picture them like microscopic disco balls.
Microscopic disco balls. Okay, I like where this is going.
And they've got everything they need for a light show packed right inside. And here's the even crazier part. Those flashes, they're not random.
No?
Nope. They've got an internal clock, keeps them flashing on a regular rhythm, even when it's completely dark.
It's like they've got their own little time zone going on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Totally independent of the sun or day and night. Isn't nature wild?
it really is. Okay, last but not least, fireflies. Tell me everything.
Well, we know they use those flashes to talk to potential mates.
Right, like, hey girl, over here.
Exactly. But how they actually control those flashes, still a bit of a head scratcher.
Oh, really?
Yep. Some scientists think it has to do with oxygen. Others are leaning towards nerve impulses triggering the reaction.
So even though we've been watching those little lights twinkle for, I don't know, centuries, we're still not 100% on how they do it.
It's true. And it just goes to show, even in something as seemingly simple as a firefly's flash, there's so much more going on than meets the eye.
There really is. Wait, there's more. I thought we'd reached peak firefly fascination. What else is out there?
Well, scientists have actually figured out how to use firefly genes to make other organisms glow, like plants.
Hold on, glowing plants? Are we talking Avatar here?
Not quite that advanced yet, but it's a real thing, a real area of research.
Yeah.
They've basically taken those genes, the ones that make fireflies light up, and put them into plants.
And they glow.
They do. It's incredible.
That's insane. What could we even do with glowing plants?
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. Imagine you could light up streets with glowing trees.
Whoa.
Cut down on all that electricity we use.
That's amazing.
Or use it to engineer plants that let us know when they're stressed or when they need water.
So we'd be taking cues from nature and using them for our own, technological advancements.
Exactly.
That's incredible. So as we start to wrap up our deep dive into this glowing world, what's the biggest takeaway you hope listeners are left with?
I think for me, it's just this constant reminder that even in something, as simple as a firefly's flash, there's this incredible, intricate web of complexity.
It's true.
Really a testament to the power of evolution, to the incredible ways life has figured out how to, survive and thrive in every corner of this planet.
It's so easy to just see a flash of light, right? And just keep moving. But when you take a moment, you really dive into the how and the why, it just opens up this whole new level of appreciation.
It really does.
And let's be real, there's still so much we don't know. Like, why is bioluminescence so rare in freshwater? And how exactly are those fireflies controlling those crazy flash patterns?
It's true.
It feels like every answer just leads to more questions.
And that's what makes it so fascinating, really.
It does. Well, listeners, we've explored the deep sea, we've wandered through fields lit by fireflies, and we've even glimpsed a future where our streets are lit by glowing plants. It's been quite a ride. But the exploration doesn't have to stop here. Keep your eyes peeled for those flashes of light out there, never stop asking questions, and most importantly, never lose that sense of wonder. Who knows what other secrets are out there just waiting to be illuminated?